Oh my goodness, Democrats are in quite the pickle. On one hand, of course, you have Donald Trump, who just got 34 felony convictions in New York City, and yet he remains widely popular among Republicans. His stats really haven't changed among people in general. However, Joe Biden still gets less and less popular every single day because his policies suck and he's not doing anything to change them. And of course, people are starting to realize this and they're getting into a full-fledged panic mode. Now, one of these people is, of course, Bill Maher, pointing out in today's segment that, yeah, Joe Biden ain't doing so hot. So before we get to the clip, please like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithm. Here we go.
The focus on Biden versus the danger of Trump, that they're like, you're focusing on the scones don't taste very good when the house is burning down. I'm just telling you, that you know that. You're aware of that.
We've talked about it on the show.
Right, yeah.
Almost everybody who I could think of who I really respect, we're kind of all on the same page here, which is like we lose our credibility if we don't talk about, as if they're not going to notice Biden's old. Yeah, please, like I do an old joke. Oh,
old.
wow, honey, I had never seen that before. You know, Bill Maher makes a good point. Joe Biden is old. Yeah, I mean, or whatever it is. I can't say it enough. I said it many times, I would vote for his head in a jar of blue liquid over Donald Trump. But that doesn't mean that I'm not, first of all, I think it's a moot point at this point. He's going to lose.
Who, Biden?
Yes.
No, you're wrong.
No.
I'm going to bet you.
Oh, great.
What should we bet?
No, nothing. You
Can
win.
I have ownership of this place?
No.
Come on.
No, I'm
ownership.
Bill Maher sees the writing on the wall, and despite coming out recently and having some pretty based takes on several issues, right, he still has his big old TDS problem, right? He's going to vote for Joe Biden's head in a jar of blue liquid over Donald Trump because, yeah, the economy is going so great. The border is totally shut down. The world stage is completely safe. There's no chaos or anything like that. And Biden, of course, is a strong leader. And I actually like how he says, you know, we're going to lose credibility on the left if we don't actually acknowledge the truth about Biden. One of those truths, of course, being that he's old, right? This is not a hot take. To say Biden is old is something everyone can recognize. However, as Bill Maher has actually said in the past, he still thinks that Biden has it mentally, okay? And a lot of us, of course, don't see that. But he is recognizing that Joe Biden is not popular. And this, of course, is all due to the terrible policies that he has enacted, or his handlers, upon the American people, okay? So at least in that regard, he is correct, all right? However, his guest, Kara Swisher, she doesn't quite get it. So listen to her explanation as to why Trump is going to lose and Biden is going to win.
Not only will I not bet on this premise, you could change my mind on it in the next 2 minutes.
Right. I'm telling you he's going to win.
Convince me.
All right. There is you remember the silent majority with Nixon?
Correct. Yes, I do.
There's a silent majority of people who really don't like Donald Trump. And I don't think they're that silent. I think there's a noisy group, certainly. And and there are elements of, you know, going too far. But there is a quiet group of people. And I have a lot of people who are Trump relatives. And now they're women. They're all women.
Right.
There's a lot of men who, and my family, people I talk to, various people, who are like, I'm voting for Trump. All the women, quietly, no, absolutely not. And so I think there is that benefit. I think the issue is where the votes are, right? And I think that's definitely the worry, is if it's in Michigan, if it's in Nevada, if it's in Arizona, Pennsylvania, those issues. But as a whole, I think people will look at him and say, I just don't want that again. And Biden is the less problematic person who we kind of know how it's going to go. And we don't want chaos again, because I think people are sick of chaos.
That is an absolutely possible scenario. This is why I would not bet on something like this. Do I think that's absolutely possible to describe? Yes. Or it could not be. And I can't tell the difference. It could go that way. There's also something called the reverse, the shy Trump voter.
Oh, I don't think they're shy anymore. Those people.
Well, you're talking
about
shy
for a while.
You're talking about the people who you see. The shy Trump voter is specifically something else. The shy Trump voter is the one who's going to vote for Trump, but doesn't want you to know it because it's a little déclassé. And they don't want it in whatever the company they're in. I mean, any place you went in this town, no one would say they're voting for Trump, and I'm sure he's going to get some votes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I think more than you think here.
No,
Especially because
no,
of
I know.
Israel. I think it's because.
Oh, yeah.
Before we continue, I do want to mention that Joe Biden is ruining the economy. Inflation is up and he is devaluing our currency. So what can you do to protect your dollar? You can go to Genesis Gold Group and turn your 401k or IRA into a gold-backed retirement account. Get back on that gold standard and protect your money. Now, to do this, of course, just go to angryteachergold.com or call 1-800-200-4653 to protect your money. And of course, Genesis Gold Group is a faith-based, America First organization, so you can be assured you're not investing with a woke company. Let's get back to it. So Bill Maher here, trying to work through some serious cope, is asking Kara, please give me a reason to believe that Joe Biden is going to win. And what does Kara say? Oh, I know a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men, they just don't like Donald Trump. And Bill Maher's like, well, that's people you know, okay? There's not a lot of shy people out there who are going to vote for Biden. Everybody who's voting for Biden is willing to shout it from the rooftops, all right? There is no such thing as a shy Biden voter. You know why? Because your livelihoods are not in danger. Versus, on the other hand, the shy Trump voter, that's a real thing, right? It takes courage to come out and say, hey, I support Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump, because the left has no qualms about firing you, about trying to ruin your life if you have the wrong beliefs. And there's no more wrong thing you could have than by going in for Donald Trump, okay? And that is one thing that this Kara person just doesn't get. But at least Bill Maher does recognize it, despite the fact that he wants so hard to believe that Joe Biden is, in fact, popular. And speaking of popularity, one thing that Kara does actually mention is, you know, the battleground states. And over here, if you look at the Real Clear Politics average polling, Donald Trump is leading in every single battleground state we have here: Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada. I mean, he's leading in all of them. Sometimes it's by a very small margin, like Wisconsin, but other times we're up here at 4.8 plus, 5.3 plus, 5.4 plus in Nevada, North Carolina, and Georgia. I mean, these are some amazing numbers. Donald Trump right now is the favorite to win post-conviction, okay? Those 34 felony counts. Of course, the good news doesn't just stop there for Donald Trump. Over here, we saw that just coming in today, Trump's appeal hearing to disqualify Fani Willis is now set for October. All right, so that has to actually happen first before Fani Willis can, you know, pursue anything in terms of the Georgia fraud election case, etc., moving forward. So that is now gone until after the election, regardless. It is no longer a factor, okay? So that, of course, is more bad news for lazy old potato Joe. But then, of course, you have, what about all those convictions, right? Those 34 felony counts, etc. We have all these appeals that will be forthcoming. And to pour a little cold water on all the Democrats' hopes and dreams, here, of course, is Dr. Turley talking about just such an event.
I want to move on to the Trump latest, because here we are, the Monday fresh off the Trump trial and the guilty verdict for the former president. And you have a piece on the headline in Buzzkill: the Trump conviction presents a target-rich environment for appeal. And you are noting the same thing that Speaker McCarthy just did, that this will be appealed. Where do you see this going now that you've had a weekend to think about it?
Well, few people outside of Manhattan have a lot of faith in the New York system right now. And so former President Trump may have some slow sledding initially on appeal, but many of us see layers of reversible error here, and it could end up in front of the Supreme Court. I personally don't see how this verdict can be sustained. I was in that courtroom, and I was shocked by how the court was ruling. And I would hope that eventually, maybe not initially, but eventually, an appeal will prevail and the verdict will be thrown out.
So yeah, a lot of us who actually watched the trial and followed it closely noticed, hey, there's a whole bunch of shenanigans going on here, right? The judge is acting in a very erratic way. And of course, you have the jurisdiction issues, whether it's federal versus state. Then, of course, you have the charges. What, in fact, are they? And of course, you have the lack of evidence of this being basically a business expense passed off as a campaign donation, when in fact, it really was just for hush money, right? So the whole case, of course, is fraught with what is described there as dismissible errors. And by the way, if Harvey Weinstein was able to get some of his stuff tossed out and overturned, Donald Trump probably has a real good shot at it as well. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.